Hello, it's Krista here with you again today. And up here it started snowing a couple days ago for the first time this year. And it's pretty amazing, you know, to watch the snow come. It kind of got me in a really inspirational mood to decorate for Christmas already. So as you can see, I've got a little bit of Christmas up over on that side, and I put some greenery up already and stuff, and it's just kind of makes me in a more pleasant mood as my creative side kind of starts swinging back. After all these teeth, after being sick with all these teeth, after meth abuse 4 years ago, what a really trip it's been, and it's amazing. I don't know if any of you at all watching have ever been through meth addiction before, but it's pretty incredible when you lose your teeth. Just the sickness that passes from all the infection that stems from, you know, when your enamel starts coming off during the use, and it just starts eating through your teeth and the protective shield through your teeth, so then all of a sudden you get cavities left and right, and until there's nothing left. So obviously you can still see. I have full teeth on the bottom, but on the top, they're not really there anymore, and these few come out soon. So I often talk about that in my videos. I know, same old. But, yeah, I'm really excited right now because I just got, my recovery coach manual, and, paid quite a bit of money for it, and saved those pretty pennies and took a chance, and work really hard and really budget with my money, and plan on having my ICU for that, certification for recovery coaching of addictions, and probably within the next couple of months. So I'm going to be getting training online for that with a trainer, and it's just going to be, I'm kind of nervous, but I'm really looking forward to it. And there are just a major amount of reasons for that. I'm going to kind of mix this in, mix in the addiction part with the toxic part of it all. I know a lot of us do struggle with dysfunctional relationships of all kinds, family, partners, siblings, children, jobs, friends, and whatnot, just out in the social realms. And how 80% of addicts come from dysfunctional homes, and grows up in life with this helpless kind of a feeling as to and our levels of self-esteem are so low because a lot of times we were raised by parents that carried very insecure dysfunctionalness as well, when all of a sudden they start giving us all their stuff, and we learn that from them, maybe even if it's more subtle or just outright, where they're just basically feeling themselves that way and then blaming it on us, like we're not good enough or they're not good enough, and we don't deserve more in life, we'll always be unworthy and undeserving, and maybe we're just going to live in a downtrodden, miserable place inside of ourselves all our lives, and maybe we were not given that real love or affection that we truly needed, because these people that raised us um, did not know how, did not get that from their caretakers either. I know that it's really easy to fall into blaming other people, like the ones that raised us or whatever, or our partners and things, or just life circumstances for what has happened to us, and feel like there is no way out. That can be so, just feel so insurmountable, especially the more traumas that we've had, like beatings, or maybe the people around us were using growing up, or there was just a major neglect, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, or physically, where these types of people could not connect with you, and you always needed that connection so badly. But in life, we decided, well, we're just going to have to get a hard skin, so then people can't hurt us further. And then, we gain this extra skin and stuff. Although I don't think that's necessarily bad. But when we do start losing that connection with ourselves, it's... Okay, yeah, sorry about that. I got bumped off and lost my spot. So anyway, a lot of times, we often grow up and we can feel trapped, especially for us empaths out there, and who end up being the codependents in relationships. How we just oftentimes get blamed, shamed, guilted, and controlled over in our lives. Grow up, and we're still get into these circumstances and people that want to control us and take advantage of us. Maybe possibly just use us, even on smaller levels, where we often find so much greatness in helping others and caring for others. And this is actually how we get our high or our fixes. And are trained by others to just work hard, taking care of others, until we can forget about ourselves, those takers, and we grow up and we're just depleted every day of our own source of energy and individuality, where we can't even be in touch with our own thoughts, feelings, needs, and desires. And it really kind of can get depressing, and I still deal with quite a bit of that myself, as I still have a child after CPS came in, that is with my parents, and my parents are more narcissistic, very selfish, can't really see past themselves too much. My mother is severely an enabler, and lets sometimes booze and things happen inside their homes, and they don't lift a finger, where everything they see that they should, but with their dysfunctionality, it just like goes right above their head, and their needs are fixed on getting their next fix, on draining whoever is around, especially like in cases of children and things, or whoever they can get to join that family unit, or be it like that social unit or whatever, where there's that leader head or whatever that everybody follows, but basically all the rest of them are minions running around doing their bidding. And that is how that narcissistic family unit or unit contains itself. And for people to start seeing out of that box, the narcissist does not like that, and will only keep people that are going to give them constant sources of supply. And by supply, I mean like doing their bidding. So, but it is always very forced and rigid, strict, with rules that aren't even real, you know? I mean, it goes beyond like jumping through those hoops again and again and again and again, where it's not humanly possible and will a lot of times keep you on a more exhausted level, as that is part of them keeping you in their control, weakened down and just drained, so they don't have enough power. Sometimes they can even put you in so much stress or whatever that you become sick eventually. And you are not able to give yourself proper care or treatment, and they're hounding you every day with their attacks, you know, to keep you under more control. And with narcissist types and toxic types, it can get very hideous, as to where you're not even happy anymore, when you're constantly trying to please them. What's great about being an empath, although at first when people don't realize what's going on and you feel like you're being outcasted from these narcissistic units, whether it be work or whatever, or friendships, or that social church gathering, or just whatever it is, you know, where you feel like you're being left out, rejected, which can really tap on those attachment traumas that so many of us have, that I'm just learning now as well, and I'm talking about right now. Where a lot of times in that relationship, I find that I go through and have went through in the past, and other women from my support group, where some of us can, because we're so used to it, go back and it's a part of our attachment trauma, as we are rejected as we are loved, abused, and then rejected as children, as that cycle happened over and over, and then the I'm sorry, and then all over again. We think that that's normal, okay? And this is a hard one for me, because I still am healing from this as well, where we get this anxious attachment, and it often becomes obsessive in nature because it's in the mind. It has to do with the chemicals and just the way that your brain and your heart and everything has always done over and over again in these cyclic, abusive, dysfunctional relationships. And it's so easy sometimes to do that relapse. Maybe it's with drugs. I'm finding that it's kind of the same, or with those abusive relationships where you do everything in your power. You try to do no contact, and you try to stay away from these people, and then you find yourself relapsing back into it. Maybe because of a physical pain that you've, health-wise, that you've always had, and you don't know what else to do about it. You become desperate to the point where we just start, this obsessive thinking starts happening, and we have to go get our next fix off of that person. And abusive relationships are kind of like drugs in a way. And so I'm really excited to be studying this new cognitive behavioral therapy techniques that are used for addicts who have already been through programs and things. And then when they're done with them, they often might go back and relapse again and go back into the drugs again, you know. I know that relapse is a part of it all, even with these nasty types of things that we're dealing with on the outside. Maybe it's that job. I know that it's really becoming astonishing to me as I do start meditating more. Okay, we'll try it a second time here. I know that I was starting to talk about say hi, Daisy. I was starting to talk about meditation and using mindfulness practices and things to start changing our old belief structures. These are great ways to start putting positive instead of the negative old self-talk. Even I was learning about like mantras today, about whenever we start getting in that funk, you know, start sliding down and having all these negative thoughts that we don't even realize we're subconsciously having, or these bad energy feelings, you know. When it's our own stuff and it's not somebody else's, you know, you can just start saying, I am worthy, I am worthy, I am worthy, I am worthy, to kind of build yourself up and that good feeling back up when we might be feeling down or we're not good enough. And we are having just pain issues inside of us that might be stemming more from just the sadness or anger or whatever it is. Just to take some deep breaths, you know. Hold it. Let it out and think of, you know, go outside, take a nature walk. Bring some plants in the house now that it's cold, or flowers, and just keep them close to you. And just, you know, get like a water fountain, burn some candles. Incense aromatherapy is great for relaxation. Anything you can do to untense, unwind, and you know, start working on getting past those fears that have bogged you down all your life. You know, it's a great way to start practicing more positive things that can start changing our brain chemicals into ones with more dopamine going and endorphins, where it's going to ease that need to get a fix on something harmful, like where you get that dopamine hit where you're going to get that drug, or you're getting that dopamine hit on all that binge eating, or you're getting that dopamine hit through another relationship, but they're actually like really toxic. Getting, you know, that dopamine hit by working really, really, really hard and just overworking yourself, not taking any time, and just to have more and more and more and more, and then it's just never enough. You still have that super unworthy feeling deep down that you need to start healing. And those are great healing tips and techniques that I just gave. So it's a great way to start entering that alpha center, where you do start balancing and aligning, even for physical health and wellness, taking charge and really doing that self-care that is essential for the recovery process. So, you know, it's really amazing. I know that a lot of us have to go through nervous breakdowns and really bad, low, rock bottom places before we can even realize what's been done to us or why, and to really want to start doing something about it, because we just get so comfortable, and life is hard enough as it is, just working and surviving and everything. But to really start to do that thriving, sometimes we might need to hit those places. It would be nice if we did not have to go through that, and that's why I think gaining all the information you can is very important along your recovery, be it from drugs or relationships, whether it's even a job or a lifestyle that you no longer find fascinating anymore. Maybe it's doing more harm than good. I know with my own job and everything, and just the excruciating pain I went through this past month when I had a bone come down after they took a tooth out. And instead of taking the bone out, like Google said they were supposed to take it out, they just left it in. They said, well, it will heal and give it some time. And just the pain of that. And I just passed out and was so tired through that whole thing. But, and just like major jaw pain and stuff. And then going out into the public and trying to handle everybody else's energy coming at me, which can be hard for an empath. That's why we like to isolate so much too, because it can be hard for us to handle large crowds and different things because of all the different energy of people that can be thrown at you by, running into people, or all of a sudden they're telling you all their problems and really just starting to stress you out, when you do have to learn how to pull away and have some certain boundaries where that's not my stuff, that's your stuff, and you need to go over there, I'm over here, I'm going to stay over here, and you're going to go over there. Maybe sometimes just to get away from some of that and start hanging around people that truly do know how to love and accept you and aren't going to poop all over you with their all their drama and stuff, because a lot of that can be toxic. I know that I was feeling that I was coming to that point last week where I could no longer take it. In fact, I had this feeling, I don't know if this was good or bad, but that I just hated everything and I hated everyone. And sometimes I still have to learn not to go back to toxic people in my own life and expect them to fix it or help me, because I have to learn that I am the one that's going to have to make myself happy, and they are obviously not there to do that for me, And it kind of bonks you on the head sometimes. But it also helps to wake you up, because you are going to start going through a different kind of awakening experience. Call it Kundalini or whatever, maybe, you found Jesus or whatever. Those are all very awakening experiences, all the same, I think. Or even when we come to a place inside, when we stop depending on outside sources for what we really need, and we just go with the flow and let things happen and accept it and start bringing more good things into our life because of it. And where we might be impatient and want things to be a different way, but accept that they're not going to. But if we follow our inner guidance and just go with the flow, it's going to bring us things that we truly need in our lives, and we will stop wanting more and start getting what we truly need. And that can further us along on the path to, be it better jobs, better lifestyles, to fulfill us more and satisfy us more in a heart center, where those real smiles really truly start to grow on our faces. I'm really excited about doing the schooling, and I know that I'm just truly, absolutely, to the point of no return, fed up with the job that I've had for the past 5 years. And some of that has to do with just rude type of people that I work with. And also just the on-call hours and the arthritis that I have where I drive and my fingers just hurt so badly. And being of service was great. Driving people around, being of service is a great starting point for anybody that is in recovery for anything. Because it does start giving you that more of a satisfying feeling, because you're helping other people and you're not just always helping yourself all the time like we've been taught by others to do. So yeah, when you can get out of yourself and you can do that, is great. But you also have to draw some limits. And even if you're not making enough money, find something that is just as gratifying and do that as well. You know, doing these tapes and running this different business I'm doing now is also very beneficial, to where you're giving and receiving in different ways, not just materially, but it will come to you karmically in your life in different places where you might not even realize the effect that we did put out is coming back to us in different ways. Just try to keep an open mind and remember that you are loved by the universe, and learn to love yourself. And you know, maybe things will start turning in your life more of the things that truly spark that excitedness and motivation and inspiration that we need to be healthy and whole. So again, namaste everybody, and we'll see you next time. Peace.